and open all of the time, and not just for some of us, some of the time. And indeed, that's what the Open University has now been doing for 4 decades. The OU is unique. We believe that where you start in life shouldn't be where you go, or it shouldn't limit where you go. And as you probably know, we're world leaders in providing distance online education, and we support over 170,000 students and millions of learners every year. We do this by using appropriate technologies to break down the various barriers for those who are isolated, disadvantaged, disabled or economically challenged, or all of those. And there are 3/4 of our students, just over 3/4 of our students actually, who are in work and are studying part-time. Now, all the way back in 2006, when Open Learn was launched by the university, it was the embodiment and realisation of this unique social justice mission. It was a home of learning accessible by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and for free. Many Open Learn students have no other means to access higher education materials. Many are from disadvantaged backgrounds, and many are searching for skills to apply within their workplace. In fact, 51% of Open Learn students don't have a first degree, and actually huge numbers have no formal qualifications whatsoever. And so Open Learn is providing these students with a fantastic opportunity to further their learning and development through a medium that suits them and their lifestyles. It fuels their imagination, and often it's the first step towards making the impossible possible. So let's look back to 2006 to understand what groundbreaking initiatives Open Learn actually displayed at the time. It was a world without Twitter. Oh, it's gone now. The Twitter hashtag was on there a moment ago. But imagine a world without Twitter, where Facebook is confined just to a few college campuses. There are no smartphones. The iPhone didn't come along until 2006, and Android in 2008. The iPad was still 4 years away. You can imagine life without an iPad. And no one had ever heard of massive open online courses, which of course we now call MOOCs. And in 2006, Professor Andy Lane, who is somewhere here in the audience, there he is waving, and his team, with the help of funding from the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, launched Open Learn. So what about today? Today, Open Learn is the UK's most successful online education resource channel and has achieved spectacular success with 5 million learners per year. I won't focus on this too much at the moment because that's a story that Andrew Law and Matt Foster will bring to life in a moment for you. But we can no longer assume that learners will be looking for an experience that fits the shape of a university-defined course or look to a university-operated platform to provide it. We need to go where the learner is, through their chosen medium, and be with them put them into the driving seat of their learning journey. It's unique for every single person. We need to be responsive to what learners want. For instance, informal learners who are seeking access to study, are seeking access to study skills, want to have their learning and attainment recognised, however small those little chunks of learning seem to be to us. So we've developed badged open courses, technically known as BOCs, which allow learners to display and share their learning achievements by gaining a free Open University digital badge. And an incredible 70% of students taking our new badged courses don't have a previous qualification. And that demonstrates how we're creating accessible courses and reaching those people to whom they would have been completely unreachable in the past. Our research has shown that BOCs help learners build confidence and motivation for learning, providing a record of achievement which they can then share with their friends, their learner communities, employers, and educational institutions. We also know that the trend towards self-directed learning, in addition to learners wishing to share achievements with colleagues, friends in their industry across social media platforms such as LinkedIn, we expect to see this badged learning increase in popularity and participation as a result. So we're well up there trying to drive this. A little bit about partnerships. Our partnership with the BBC, and I'm delighted that we have some BBC colleagues here today, and our presence on channels like YouTube and Twitter also bring us to a new audience. We're discovering what works for the next generation of learners, ensuring that the OU is at the heart of their learning mix. A key area of research for us research focus at the OU is to understand why openness is important to the future of learning, identifying those activities that need to be supported, and showing how to evidence the impact that this learning has and how that can influence policies and decision makers. The OU is constantly striving to find out more about our informal learners. We undertake surveys and review statistical data to understand the demographics, motivations and expectations of our many millions of informal learners on all of our open platforms and media channels. Data gathered in this way is important to improve our widening participation offering, shape our innovation, and for research purposes. And we have members of the Open University staff here today who are actively engaged in that work, so do catch them over lunch if you're interested. Open Learn Create, you'll have seen a panel about that, formed out of some of our research, is a leading open educational platform where individuals and organisations can publish their open content, open courses and resources, and it has tools there for collaboration, reuse and remixing. We've won a few awards. The OU was named winner in 4 categories in the highly competitive 2016 Awards for Open Education Excellence. We won the Creative Innovation Award for our badged open courses, TESS India, and you'll hear a little bit more about that later no doubt, an Open Research Award on Open World Learning, and an Open MOOC Award for learning to reuse the open educational resources. These and other awards recognise the excellence in innovation and learning across the OU. They were selected by the Institute of Open Education Awards Committee, which chose examples of sites, projects, resources which are committed to increasing access to high quality education for everyone. Absolutely the OU mantra. The OU is leading in the field in providing creative, open learning, both in the UK and on a global stage. And we're delighted to receive these awards as they illustrate the innovation and breadth of learning offered to all by the OU. So what about the future? We've never been ones to rest on our laurels, and we've set ourselves a new challenge. Actually, we've got several challenges, but this is the one we want to talk to you about today. Our aim is to provide an additional 15 million people worldwide with access to free online learning opportunities over the next 3 years. That's quite an ambitious target. But back in the 1970s, the OU revolutionised, that's really hard to say, revolutionised higher education by using television to reach learners who had no access to conventional campus universities. Now people don't need a television in their front room, they've got a phone in their pocket. We live in a digital age, populated by digital natives, who have grown up swiping and clicking, as well as reading and writing. Billions of people around the world who may have very limited access to traditional education are increasingly able to learn via a smartphone. At the OU, we are determined to continue to push the boundaries of digital technology, pioneering learning through innovation and creativity. We develop pedagogy, products and processes to maximise the benefits of new technology. It promises to make learning faster, cheaper, more effective and more fun. That's tremendously exciting and promises to have huge benefits. I'm really looking forward to hearing from our panellists later from the BBC, the Humanitarian Learning Academy and Cisco about their views on this ever-evolving educational landscape. But first I'd like to introduce our Director of the Open Media Unit, Andrew Law, and the Director for International Development, Matt Foster, who will talk to you about Open Learn in a bit more detail.